The 10th day of Vlogmas, and my art content will be another holiday creature.
What's it gonna be? Celestial. Right, environment isn't so much a factor, so what's their alignment? Lawful neutral. This celestial, how big is it? Small. Oh my gosh, we're doing a Hollyphant. And what's the holiday remix of the Hollyphant? Oh, okay, ornaments.
So I have never heard of Hollyphants before this. Dungeons & Dragons really has just hundreds and hundreds of creatures and encounters, and that's not even accounting for humanoids and homebrew. But the 5th edition Hollyphants are just so freaking cute. Angelic elephants the size of small dogs. Just absolutely adorbs. So for the ornament prompt, I wasn't sure if I wanted the Hollyphant itself to be the ornament, or if I wanted it interacting with the ornaments. In the end, I thought it was cuter for the Hollyphants to be hanging the ornament with its trunk, so I ended up going with the latter, because I just really like the idea of one flying around. So I took that idea and ran with it, and ran so fast it became airborne. Just kidding, it's just drawing a thing. In my art goals for 2023 video, I mentioned using color sketching more, so I decided I was going to try that again. This is a pretty conservative color setup, very values driven when I selected my lights and darks, but I kept them all in the same color range. It's not quite monochromatic where it's just one hue and the values are all within that one hue, but rather I changed the hue just a little bit between value steps so that the dark brown is slightly red, the midtones are orange and yellow with a decently high chroma, and then the highlight is much lighter and very slightly on the green side. And I like to have my chosen colors in swatches on the canvas within easy reach of the subject. Sort of like traditional oil painting, in a way. I did run into a problem with this setup though, and you might have picked up on this problem in other videos. Photoshop on the iPad has a super sucky eyedropper tool. It's extremely untrustworthy. Like, I clearly have one solid color, and the eyedropper picks up a totally different shade based on what it thinks is near that color I'm trying to pick up. So I've had to mess with the eyedropper settings and make all of those swatches way bigger. And I've never had this problem on the desktop version of Photoshop. Like, I've done some really intense portraits with limited color palettes using this swatch technique, and this is just absolutely ridiculous. I really miss certain functions that are not on the iPad yet, but I want the functions it does have to actually work. Like, I want to use different brush shapes for the smudge tool, and I want to precisely crop images. And I don't want the color picker wheel to be so sticky. Like, the desktop version isn't that great, but this is just bad. And a dozen other things. And weirdly, it seems like complaining about things like this is manifesting better software iterations. Although, I imagine participating in formal requests on the Adobe forums would be much more effective. But back to the painting. I decided to go lineless again, just for the practice, though I'm still really sticking to my same favorite few brushes. I should really look up some reference images and do one of those style exercises I've talked about before. And I have some ideas. I think I want to try going super smooth next, though from what I can tell, that may take a lot more time to get right. So probably not happening for Vlogmas. Though I do have a character gift exchange going on at the Artist Guild of Exandria server now, so that might be a good chance to try it out. In the end, I banged out this ornament super easily, and I think maybe it came out a bit too well compared to how the Hollyphant is rendered. I gotta also work on marrying disparate textures in one image as well, apparently. And here is the final Hollyphant. Probably the cutest thing I have ever painted. Please stay tuned for the next video where I draw a human ranger who finally catches a break. Please dunk on the like and subscribe buttons and have a super duper Christmas!